As hairstylists, we all understand that it's important to have an established core of classic techniques. At Tony & Guy, we have already developed our classic cut-in series as a fundamental element of our educational program. This has helped us build our worldwide reputation. Tony & Guy believe that hair coloring is as vitally important in creating a total look. We are therefore proud to introduce our classic color series of videos, accompanied by a step-by-step book, which outline the core coloring techniques. These will provide you with the foundation to master all aspects of color placement. Classic Color from Tony & Guy.
The transient techniques outlined on this tape are designed to create reversible highlights, achieving a versatile look for your client. Before you begin any color technique, there are some key points to consider. Your use of color, partings, weave and packets will determine the finished result. Choice of colour should be made by taking into consideration your client's requirements, lifestyle and suitability. The patterns that you create with your partings will determine the shape and size of the subsections to be coloured. These are usually an integral part of the technique. In the classic colour collection, we introduce the following: zigzag parting, W parting, V parting, crescent parting, diagonal parting, vertical parting, horizontal parting. Choose your desired weave, remembering the larger the weave, the more textured the result will be. You have the following options: natural weave, textured weave, placement weave, slice. The packets that should be used for each stage of a technique are generally determined by the pattern being worked. There are a number of different packet shapes that are utilised in the Classic Colour series. They are classic, triangle, single, double, diagonal, V-fold. The crescent pivot technique is suitable for mid-length to longer layers. Here it has been applied to the graduated bob from Tony & Guy's Classic Cuts 2 series. Having chosen your colour, weave, partings and packets, begin the technique. From the top crown, curve round to the lower crown on each side to create a crescent shape. Join each side with a horizontal parting at the bottom corners. This will create a half moon section. Using the corner of the section as a guide, take a diagonal forward section to above the top of the ear, then work diagonally up towards the front centre, leaving approximately ½ inch at the front hairline. Repeat on the other side. Begin the first side section by taking a diagonal slice. And then take a placement weave. Apply the product from roots through to lengths and ends. Fold the foil in two, aligning the corners. Then fold over a small triangle to align with the top to complete the packet. Take the next slice. You can vary the distance between the slices. The greater the distance, the more contrast will be achieved between the colours. Again, take a placement weave. Before placing the foil, align it with the corner of the section. Repeat the application as before. Continue taking diagonal forward sections up towards the centre parting. With the last two packets before the parting, take a textured weave for a more blended result. Now begin at the opposite side, working the same technique as before. Aligning the foil with the corner of the section. Apply product sparingly at the roots and more to the ends. Repeat this technique until arriving 1 inch below the centre parting. Here, change the placement weave to a textured weave to give more of a blend through the parting. Finish parallel to the opposite section. With the remaining half moon section, starting at the back corner, take your first slice and use a textured weave as before. Because the sections here are smaller than on the side, a different folding technique is needed. Use the two corners of the section as a guide. Diagonally fold the foil to create a triangular packet. Continue working with the textured weave technique across the half moon section. The number of weaves will vary depending on the width of the section. Continue working across the section until complete. With the remaining hair, you can colour wash, gloss, or leave natural. Crescent pivot recap. Partings. Crescent. Horizontal. Diagonal forward. Diagonal back. Sections. 3 in total. Weave. Placement weave into a textured weave. Application. Roots through to lengths and ends. Packets. Diagonal and triangle. The progressive dimensional colour technique is suitable for mid-length to longer layered shapes with no specific parting. Here it has been applied to the natural inversion cut from Toni & Guy's Classic Cuts 2 series. Having chosen your colour, weave, partings and packets, as explained at the front of this tape, begin the technique. With a cutting comb and brush, start with the application of the root colour around the front hairline, progressing through to the sides. Continue through to the lower side and nape area, controlling the sections with the comb. Repeat on the other side. Once the hairline is complete, take a profile parting from centre front to centre nape, combing the hair apart as you do this. Apply the product to the root area only. Take a radial parting from the top crown to behind the ear. Apply the product to the root area. Repeat on the other side. Now there are 4 quarter sections. Begin at the top of one of the back sections. Take a 1/4 inch subsection and apply the product to the root area on both sides of the parting. Continue working in 1/4 inch subsections down to the nape. Then repeat on the other back section. Continue with the front section using the same method as before, from top crown, working down to the hairline on both sides. Take diagonal forward partings from the centre top of the head to the high recession area on each side to create a triangular section. Beginning in one of the back quarter sections, take 2 diagonal partings to create a V section. With a sponge, apply product to the lengths and ends, overlapping the root area. The colour being used here is lighter than the root colour. Using the mesh, create a V fold to isolate the section. Take another V section parallel to the first. The distance between these sections will control the amount of contrast between the 2 colours. The bigger the distance, the more contrast is visible. The smaller the distance, the more blended and diffused the colours will be. On this second section, apply the original root colour through the lengths and ends. Again isolating with a V-fold mesh. Take another V section and use the alternate colour to that in the previous section. Complete this section by taking the remaining piece of hair, again alternating the colour. Repeat on the other back quarter section. Now the back section is complete, move on to the sides, taking a V section slightly higher because the hair is finer through the side area. Again begin the first subsection with the lighter colour, using the same application as before. Now isolate. Take another V section and leave the lengths and ends natural. Complete the remaining top section with colour. Now with the triangular section through the front area, take a diagonal forward parting and apply the colour. Fold over the mesh when complete. Take another diagonal forward parting, leaving the remaining hair uncoloured. And finish off by applying the colour to the last section. Complete the technique in the same manner on the opposite side. Progressive dimensional colour recap. Partings. Radial. Profile. Horizontal. Diagonal forward. Diagonal back. Sections. 5 in total. 4 primary. 1 secondary. Pattern. V. Weave, slice. Application. From roots, overlapping through to lengths and ends. Packets. V-mesh fold. The reverse diagonal technique is suitable for layered hair that has length. Here it has been applied to the square layers cut from Tony & Guy's Classic Cuts 2 series. Having chosen your colour, weave, partings and packets, as explained at the front of this tape, begin by taking a radial parting from the top crown to behind the ear on both sides. Take a center profile parting from the top crown to the nape. This will create 4 sections which will help control the hair during the technique. Take a horizontal line from ear to ear using the occipital as a guide. From the top corner, take a diagonal back parting. Then subdivide your section with a slice. Place the foil parallel to your section, leaving ½ an inch at the top to fold later, and apply your product from roots through to lengths and ends. Fold the foil once and align the 2 corners. Then from the top corner, use a small corner fold to secure the packet. Repeat this procedure along the horizontal parting until reaching the ear on the other side. Your packets will decrease in size as you complete the section. Take a horseshoe section connecting the low recession on both sides. The 4 main sections allow this to be more controllable. In the front side area, take a diagonal back slice in the opposite direction to the previous section at the back. If desired, also change the colour. Here we're using coloured foils to indicate the change in direction and in colour. Continue diagonal slices through the horseshoe section, maintaining the same application of colour and foil technique as before. Finishing on the opposite side. Take another horseshoe section, this time from high recession, again using the quarter sections for control. At the front, begin your diagonal slicing technique, alternating your direction and colour from the previous section. Continue around the horseshoe, finishing at the opposite side. With the remaining horseshoe section at the top, subdivide into 3 sections. The first 2 sections will be the width of your foil. The remainder of the hair will form the section at the crown and will be smaller. Continue the diagonal slicing technique across the first of these sections. Decreasing as you complete on the opposite side. Now with your second section, begin by taking diagonal slices in the opposite direction to the previous section, alternating your colour and foils. With the third section, again the slices should be in the opposite direction to the previous section and parallel to the first. This will complete the technique. With the remaining hair, you can colour wash, gloss, or leave natural. Reverse diagonal recap. Sections. 7 in total. 4 primary and 3 secondary. Partings. Radial. Profile. Horseshoe. Horizontal. Diagonal. Weave. Slices. Application. Roots through to lengths and ends. Packets. Single. The OXO technique is suitable for one length and longer layered shapes with no specific parting. It will achieve an irregular, more natural feel. Here it has been applied to the forward graduation cut from Toni & Guy's Classic Cuts 2 series. Having chosen your colour, weave, partings and packets, as explained at the beginning of this tape, start the technique. Using the wide teeth of a cutting comb, section from mid-recession diagonally to the lower crown. Take a parallel section from front centre to lower crown. The section should be the width of your mesh or foil. Complete the section by taking a line at right angles over the crown. If the crown has a swirl, take the section below this. Using the front centre as a guideline, take a section the width of your mesh and as deep as the hairline to create a rectangular box. Using the corner of the first section as a guide, create another rectangular box diagonally across the crown, 3 inches deep and to the width of your mesh. If a swirl is present, take it lower. Apply your colour wash or gloss with a brush at the root, outlining your section. Work the root area of the hairline, combing the hair away from the face. Colour wash or gloss with a sponge, over the top layer only. You would only use this technique for a tonality change or to even out previously coloured or lightened ends to the same shade as the natural roots. Isolate the section with a mesh. Take a slice and secure the hair away from the section. Apply colour up to the line of the mesh. The finer the section, the closer you'll be able to get to the root. Apply the product through to the lengths and ends, folding the hair back on itself twice. Using a small amount of the product, smudge the root area with the underneath colour. Isolate the section by covering with another mesh. aligning the top corners to secure the package. With the next slice, alternate your colour. Here we're using the same colour that was used on the underneath section, and are therefore taking the product from the roots over the line of the mesh to blend. By making the size of your slices irregular, you can create a more natural result. Continue alternating between the colours until the box section is complete. On the opposite side of the crown, isolate to separate from the underneath colour. Subdivide the top section for ease and control of application. Apply the product as for the previous section. Smudging darker natural colour at the root area. Apply another mesh on top to isolate the section. Continue working up the section with slices, alternating between the two colours as before. Finish this section with a placement weave on the hairline if using a lighter colour, or a slice if finishing with the darker colour. On the remaining rectangular section, repeat using the same technique as used on the section diagonally opposite. If you don't balance the colours on each side, it will make the finished colour reversible. Now we have the sections complete. Fold the front meshes back off the face. OXO recap. Sections, 3 in total. Partings, diagonal, horizontal. Weave, slice, placement weave. Application, outline, surface, roots through to lengths and ends. Packets, double.